Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mrs. T, but you can call me Anai, and welcome to School with Mrs. T. So let's get into it. Right then, today's video is all about SENCOs. So what is this word that people keep on talking about? Now, in a previous video, I talked about some of the top things that you need to look for when you're looking for a school. I might do a more comprehensive video just about all the things that we need to be looking for, or most of the things that we need to look for, because you're never going to find the perfect school, but you can definitely have a checklist of things. Let me know in the comments below if that's something that you'd be interested in. But let's get back to the matter at hand, and we are talking about all about SENCOs. So I realize that being a former primary school teacher, there's a lot of education jargon that is in there. It's a bit like when you're in a fraternity, in a club, in anything, you know the language. You and the other people within that group, you all know the language, but people outside that group might not. People outside of education might not. So let's break this word down. We're just going to focus on SENCOs. Okay, so what is a SENCO? So in the UK, a SENCO is a special educational needs coordinator. So this person within the school, it can be many SENCOs, but this person within the school, their job is to look after all of those needs within the school. So those children that have special educational needs, children who have dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADHD, autism, who are in a wheelchair sometimes, and things like that. All of those things all fall under the SENCO, because the special education, hey, I'll get my words out. The special educational needs coordinator will look after all of these things and make sure that all of the provision is put in place for those children. So when a child is, for instance, working towards getting an educational health care plan, an EHCP in short, they will go through lots of different stages, lots of different observations and things like that. And so the first port of call for parents usually is the SENCO. So they will have a conversation with the class teacher, and the class teacher will have a conversation with the SENCO, and then they might have a meeting all together, the class teacher, the SENCO, and the parents. They might have a conversation and just have a meeting about what are the needs for this particular child, what are they displaying, etc. And then they might look at, okay, so let's observe this child in the classroom. What are some of the signs that they're displaying to be able to show that they have this additional need? And also, in addition to this, they might also say, what things have you seen at home? So this all builds a picture. It all comes into play. So if you've ever had a conversation with a SENCO and they've said, okay, so tell us what they're like at home, etc., 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 and they're building a case in favor of your child, they're building a case for your child to be able to say, right, they've seen this at home, parents have seen this at home, we've seen this in school, what can we do? And so they're building and building and building a case, and then they might refer you to an educational psychologist, EdPsych for short. So they might refer you to an educational psychologist, they might refer them to speech and language therapist who might come into school, or they might refer them to a physiotherapist, again, who might come into school. So all of these things all come under the remit of SENCO, because they are looking at the special educational needs of that particular child. So if ever you've come across that, or you've got a child who's got a special educational need, and people are throwing around this word SENCO, 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 and you're thinking, what in the world are they talking about? That's what they mean. They mean the special educational needs coordinator within your child's school, and they will be the best person to be able to refer you to any other services or providers or resources that could be really beneficial for you and your child. So, the kinds of things that they might do, they might give you some resources, they might give you, as in actual physical, tangible resources. They might give you some websites to go onto whilst they're building this case for an educational healthcare plan, an EHCP. Or they might give you a resource in terms of an actual person, like we said, therapists, different types of therapists. So those are the types of resources that they may have, and even the online things they might have as well. So those are the kinds of things that a SENCO might do. I forgot to mention the work that the teacher does in line with the SENCO. So what the teacher, the primary school teacher, will do is keep a record. They will keep a record of all the evidence that they can see in the class that then shows that this child has this particular need, this additional need. So they might look at their work, what's going on with that. And this is all in conversation with the parents. This is nothing new. It shouldn't be that you don't know what's going on with the child. You don't know, as in your child, or you don't know what's going on in the school. You don't know their behavior. If it's a behavioral thing, it would have been a conversation that you'll have already had with the teacher. And so these are all things that will be brought forward as evidence to say, right, this is what's been going on, and this is all to support and say, this is what's been happening. This is why we need the extra funding. This is why we need the EHCP in place for this child. And this is why the SENCO is fighting so hard for this child. This is why we need an additional adult, because this child will work better with that provision, or they work better with, we just need an additional adult within the room so that the teacher can better work with this particular student, or whatever the provision might be, whether it's extra physio, whatever the provision might be. There needs to be some evidence to be able to build the case for the need. Hopefully that video was helpful for you. And I hope, even though it was a short video, I hope that if you are navigating this world of parenthood, navigating this world of getting into schools and what that looks like and how scary that might be, then hopefully this video is helpful for you and any of my other videos as well. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.